it's extremely even hard to comprehend what is going on. We are receiving calls, emails from so many athletes around the world. They're counting on us to help them make a change. They support us. They expect us to do something. Giving up is just not an option. Making a positive change is. We now owe it to all of them.
As Nik's mom, what do you want to hear?
I'm beyond hearing an apology. I want change. And I don't want change just for Nik. As I said, there are so many athletes out there exposed. Over years, I guess, we somehow have compromised safety, and athletes deserve. They have the right, the basic human right, to compete and train in safe conditions and safe environment. Compromising that is not an option. I don't know how can then sport survive if we're saying to our athletes, this is something that we will go 50% on or 10% on. It has to be safe. Gaps are serious.
Ski cross was a relatively new sport. It debuted at the Olympics in 2010. FIS is also supporting other new sports like slopestyle in the games. And so do you think part of what happened here was that they didn't really understand the sport well enough at this point, or?
Maybe I can answer that from 3 points of view. It's fundamental issues in new sports. Ski cross is a fundamental issue. Ski cross should never be freestyle family. They should be either part of Alpine Canada or independent completely. Right off the bat, there was issues from safety point of view, from direction point of view, from marketing point of view. Everything wasn't right. Mix wasn't right. Like in our case, in Canada, Alpine Canada is responsible for athletes, but they're competing under freestyle rest of the world. So the people who are responsible for freestyle, everything else outside of Canada, they don't care. They don't care what happened to the Nik because they are part of the Alpine family. So in our case, we have a representative of FIS, who is chairman of FIS freestyle. He's Canadian. His name is Chris Robinson. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't helped us at all. Like, he's the one that had a lot of pull in all of this to make a change, to at least force people on the FIS, be in their office every day, say, give us reasons, give us explanation what happened. So the fundamental issues with this sport, and I'm sure other sports and new sports of slopestyle, they're going to have the same problems. So this is a message to all the parents. You better make sure, if you put these kids in new sports, to make sure there's some accountability behind. Otherwise, I've been on slopestyle slopes last weekend, and the kids are just playing themselves. They don't know what they're doing. They fall, they go home, they're hurting, nobody knows. And those are our new athletes that are going to come and go Olympics. There's not much behind. There's no system behind them at all.
There's certain principles of safety, whether it's alpine skiing or cross skiing, which are exactly the same. So it really doesn't make a distinction, and even though it might be a newer sport, it doesn't change the dynamics, and particularly at the finish line. And and one of the messages here is that surely there doesn't have to be another tragedy, another death, before we wake up. Isn't one enough? So the time for action's now. There's no time for complacency here. This is the time for action, and we are going to do our utmost to make sure there's action.
Mr. Danson, here in Canada we have coroner's inquests when something like this happens and you want to find out how it happened and prevent it. Is there anything like that in Switzerland that you can explore, independent of FIS and Alpine Canada?
Yeah, that's a greite question, because it's a question that I've been asking myself, because the coroner system would be the perfect response to this. And while I've asked the question, I have not yet received a satisfactory response. So the answer I'm going to give you, I don't know if it's the right answer. It's the answer that I've been given. That yes, they have a coroner's office, but the coroner's office is not the same as a coroner's office here, where they do like a public investigation and have a coroner's inquest. That's the best that I can get. And it's an interesting question whether or not, even because it's a Canadian athlete, whether there could even be jurisdiction here. But that's precisely, would be the perfect solution to this, but one that doesn't yet seem to be available.
You also said, because you think that if it wasn't a Canadian skier, it's a skier of another nationality, how do you think action possibly could have been different?
No, all I said is I asked a rhetorical question. if this had been a Swiss skier, I wonder if the outcome would have been the same. It's just a rhetorical question. I don't know the answer to the question, but this investigation is entirely unacceptable. And if this was a Canadian skier and it was a Canadian investigation and they came out with the same findings, I think all hell would break loose. That's my view. You know, I've represented the Canadian police community for over 30 years. I know what a good investigation looks like. This is not a good investigation.
BB, would you be able to say the past year while this has been going on, what's it been like for you as Nick's father?
I don't know what to say. I just came across yesterday with some application, Nick's application to Sports Canada, and who is he, who is just kind of introducing himself, what he's trying to do, and it was tough to read. So from that personal side, it wasn't an easy ride. From everything else, people, ski community, just helping us to get through every day and makes kind of our lives easier. And to add on your question, we have established Nick's Foundation, which hopefully is going to grow every year, and then part of the foundation is to support young athletes' safety and send a message across that we are behind athletes in their quest for gold and podium. So definitely wasn't easy, but community helped tremendously. So on Saturday we're going to have first event, which can be NZ Challenge Dust to Dawn, actually Dawn to Dust, then Dust to Dawn, which all of the ski fans and Nick's friends going to be there and pay tribute to him. It's going to be a year anniversary on Sunday, and help raise some funds, and hopefully we can raise safety awareness in the country and hopefully the rest of the world. That's all.
Yeah, that event is Saturday at Craigley Ski Club. But I think it's important, I think it's a point that's been made, but it deserves emphasis, which is the fact that the communication that we are having through the website with the international alpine community is significant. And part of the impetus behind this is not just to do the right thing, to fight for Nick's memory, but that and I think it was Sylvia, you were saying this, that the global alpine community is so outraged by what's happened here that they're hoping and giving us the moral support to move forward and make change. So, you know, there's a responsibility there. And I can also tell you, from my point of view and from Marjan's point of view, we're doing this pro bono. We're doing this for free because what's happening here is not right. And if the powers to be think that they can avoid litigation because the Zoricics will not be able to afford counsel, let them know that we're doing this pro bono, we're doing this for free, and we're going to see this to the end.
Just technically, would you file the lawsuit in Switzerland and Canada, or just Canada?
We'd be filing the lawsuit in Canada, but we will make sure that any limitation periods in Switzerland are protected. There could be a jurisdictional battle, one that we're confident that we would win. There's all kinds of legal basis for jurisdiction here, but we will protect all legal options.
How much like communication is there between you and Alpine Canada? Like, is this a scenario where they're not responding to questions or phone calls, or?
No, Alpine Canada is trying hard. I think they're hitting the wall wherever they go, trying to help. Because they appointed their safety commissioner, or his name was Ted Savage, and he was trying to make awareness in Canada, which he did. They did a really good job in the Kiska World Cup. But you can't stop there. You gotta explore the rest of the world. But he's not getting support from anyone. So he's in tough position to express what has to be done right, and yeah, and we are trying to support him as much as we can. I don't know how much success he's got so far. Not much happening at Sports Canada or any other levels. He was trying to get some funding for his initiative. It's not happening.
So, but then why is Alpine Canada included in like your statement about wanting an
Because
investigation?
they are responsible for athletes. by default.
Right.
They're not. Don't get us wrong. They are not trying. They're not sitting back doing nothing. They're trying, but it doesn't go anywhere.
Okay.
They can't get any support from FIS.
Right. But there's a point in time that people have to step up to the plate and be accounted for. So you either support an independent and transparent investigation or you don't. We can do it alone here in Canada. But I tell you, part of the reasons for this news conference is that we need help. We need your help to get the message out. We need help from Canadians. And that's why we say it's not just FIS and Alpine Canada. The pressure's got to be brought to bear on Sports Canada and the Canadian government. They can help too, for the reasons that we delineated in the main part of this news conference. The government of Canada and Sports Canada just can't sit back and say this is just FIS and Alpine Canada's problem. They have a responsibility to cover the backs of athletes because athletes are out there giving it their all. So we need Canadians to write to the members of Parliament, to the Minister, to FIS, to Alpine Canada, and let's just do the right thing because we're prepared to take all legal options off the table. No liability, no money, nothing. What more can we do? And if no one wants to do that, then there has to be a lawsuit. Is that it? Okay,
Just wanna. There's a World Championships happening this week in, I believe it's Norway, if I'm wrong, and that's freestyle. I just want to wish good luck to all of the Canadians.
Great. Thank you very much.